What's up everyone, it's Mark from SilencedTech, and today I'm lucky enough to check out this crazy laptop from MSI, the GS75 Stealth 8SG, featuring Intel's i7-8750H processor, Nvidia's GeForce RTX 2080 Max-Q, and a Full HD 17-inch IPS 144Hz display. Price-wise, you're going to need deep pockets as it costs just over £3,000, although this model does come with many other configurations such as an RTX 2070, 2060 plus other DDR4 and storage options, reducing the price dramatically. This model MSI sent out has 32GB of dual channel memory and a dual 512GB SSD running in RAID 0. Taking a quick look at the overall design, luckily it doesn't fall short, even if there's no cosmetic changes to the previous model. The bezels are nearly non-existent on the 17-inch display, with a tiny webcam that's hard to even notice. In fact, I'm impressed with how compact this whole unit is, considering what's inside. There are some drawbacks, like a slight screen wobble and it feeling very fragile to the point I wouldn't let anyone else touch it, especially my son. MSI for a while now have decided to ditch the red, at least on this model, for copper gold, and I really like it. Overall the design looks very premium and the gold accents can be found on the hinges, the trackpad and MSI logo, and it adds a little flair to what would have been a subtle design. That's until you see the keyboard's LED backlighting. Made by SteelSeries, it has per key backlighting and it's stunning to behold, although it doesn't exactly suit the laptop's overall design, having it in full RGB mode. Highlighting just a few keys in a particular game really sets this laptop off and makes it look much more in keeping with MSI's design. Typing feels adequate but not particularly special considering the price. Each key has a nice spacing, although the touchpad does make it slightly awkward to use. While testing out some of my favourite games, I couldn't help but feel that I wanted to reach out for my own keyboard, but it still gets the job done. Each key has a short actuation distance, plus they feel responsive, perfect for gaming. Each key has a travel distance of 1.5mm and only requires 75 grams of actuation force. MSI's 5.4 by 2.5 inch touchpad has been a joy to use. The left and right clicks are integrated, giving an overall clean look to the design. Tracking has been excellent and the surface is smooth, and each click gives off a loud noise with plenty of feedback, so you know it's been pressed. On the left hand side of this laptop you'll find a power jack, an RJ45 port, one USB 3.1 port, a micro SD card slot and separate headphone and microphone inputs. The right side has a laptop lock slot, one full-sized HDMI, a USB Type-C, two USB 3.1 ports and lastly a single Thunderbolt 3 port. Moving on to the display, I wasn't particularly blown away by the 1080p resolution as you'd expect, but I would much prefer a 1080p 144Hz panel than a 4K 60 while playing FPS games. I'm not sure I would pay this much though. That said, the whole package does produce a mind-blowing gaming experience considering it's only a laptop, and the Nvidia GeForce RTX 2080 does a great job at powering this display. Games look super smooth, plus the panel covers 161% of the sRGB colour gamut, putting other laptops in its class to shame, and you notice it straight away. MSI's GS75 Stealth 8SG would also make an excellent workhorse once you factor in the 6-core processor. Looking at the display from multiple angles, the screen doesn't fare too well. Luckily the panel displays absolutely no IPS glow, and using Blurbuster's UFO test, the display outputs a smooth 144Hz with no stuttering whatsoever, and its peak brightness of 339 nits. Moving on to gaming performance, yes, this laptop does have a very good GPU, but can Intel's i7-8750H keep up? From my testing on Battlefield 5, a very CPU intensive game, the i7-8750H managed to hit the display's 144Hz refresh rate, although temperatures were at 95 degrees Celsius, and this was of course with in-game settings set to low, causing the system to become CPU bound. In fact, there's not that much of a drop in FPS switching between graphical settings. The CPU is capable, but it's definitely at its limit due to throttling. Either way, it's amazing to see a laptop capable of maxing out a 144Hz display, even if it's only 1080p. Plus, the i7 6 cores are going to be great for general desktop use and work-related tasks. Noise levels, yes, they're quite loud, hitting 40 decibels on full load while benchmarking, and I'll let you listen for yourself. Just to note, in places I also found the GS75 extremely hot to touch, and you certainly wouldn't want to game while this was resting on your lap. Right, as for the Nvidia GeForce RTX 2080 Max-Q, I'll let the benchmarks do the talking, so let's jump in and see how this laptop performs. All the benchmarks are done with Windows Performance Mode turned on and the turbo and max fan speed in the MSI Dragon Center on as well. So, while the GeForce RTX 2080 Max-Q certainly isn't on par with a desktop version, it still performed very well. Unfortunately, even at 30 FPS, the battery life will only last about an hour if you're lucky. But while it's plugged in, the unit delivers the best gaming experience any laptop can provide right now. Just be aware heat and noise can be a problem. Hopefully in a generation or two that will be improved even further, as there's still a lot of room for improvements, and pricing is also mad, costing a small fortune. Hope you've enjoyed the review, guys. My name's Mark from SilencedTech. I'll see you real soon. Goodbye.